Hello and welcome to the channel. In 1941, the German Luftwaffe requested a select-fire handheld weapon specifically for paratroopers. The brief was intended to develop a universal shoulder-fired automatic rifle that could replace the bolt-action rifle, the submachine gun, and the light machine gun in the air assault role. The proposed weapon would also simplify logistics and provide greater firepower to the individual paratrooper, thus the FG-42. The select-fire 7.92 by 57mm automatic rifle, the Fallschirmjägergewehr 42, was produced and fielded by the German Air Force during World War II. The weapon was developed specifically for use by the Fallschirmjäger Airborne Infantry in 1942 and was used in very limited numbers up until the end of the war. The firearm was a combination of attributes sorted from various other weapons at the time. It had the firepower of a light machine gun, it was lightweight, slightly shorter than the standard infantry rifle, but had the disadvantage of being both bulkier and heavier. Considered one of the most advanced weapon designs of the Second World War, the FG-42 influenced post-war arms development, as did many other German weapons during the period, such as the general shape, the stock style, gas rotating bolt operation, and sheet metal and plastic constructions were copied by Western nations post-war with designs such as the American M60 machine gun. During the early war period until Operation Mercury, German Fallschirmjägers were supplied with the same assortment of small arms as the German army. During actual parachute jumps, Jaegers were lightly armed with only pistols and grenades, and upon retrieving kit from drop containers, they were outfitted with MP40 submachine guns, K98 rifles, and other heavy weapons such as MGs and recoilless rifles. In the early stages of the battle, as they attempted to retrieve their support weapons and containers scattered all across the battlefield, the German paratroopers were outgunned by Allied heavy weapons and dug-in machine gun positions that caused numerous and significant losses to the Germans. This was due to the design of the German RZ parachute harness, which forced paratroopers to land on their hands and knees in a forwards roll. This did not allow for heavier equipment such as rifles and machine guns to be carried safely during airborne jumps. The combat experience demonstrated the need for a rifle that could be carried by a paratrooper during the drop. The Luftwaffe Weapons Development Branch at Tarnowitz near Wismar was approached informally to develop this special new weapon that, as alluded to above, was a request for a universal shoulder-fire and select-fire handheld weapon. The idea was to construct an automatic rifle that was approximately the size of a submachine gun, with the stopping power of a rifle cartridge and the fire rate of a machine gun, that additionally had to be simplified and easy to produce for ease of logistics. The Reichsluftfahrtministerium attempted to initiate a formal weapons development program through the Heereswaffenamt, but conflicting priorities dismissed the undertaking as unrealistic and offered its G41 semi-automatic rifle instead. The dismissal led to an independent development of the firearm by the Luftwaffe, and plans for a central authority for a new program were produced for the development of the weapon at the Luftwaffe Coastal Testing Station at Tarnowitz. The engineers on staff had acquired considerable expertise developing lightweight automatic weapons, having successfully converted the MG-15 aircraft machine gun to a ground-based configuration. However, due to high casualties sustained by the paratroopers during Operation Mercury, Hitler changed his mind about the usefulness of airborne assaults, and the plans were terminated. Despite this request, the Reich Air Ministry, headed by Reich Marshal Goering, continued the development of the weapon in private. The specification were as followed: that among other criteria, the weapon should not exceed 1 meter in length, should not be significantly heavier than the standard service rifle, should be able to fire single shot from a closed bolt and provide fully automatic fire from an open bolt, it must feed from a detachable 10 or 20 round magazine, and should be able to mount a bayonet and use rifle grenades. Several contracts were awarded, but only a few known prototypes are known to have been submitted. Mauser offered a version of the MG81, which was rejected due to its excessive weight and its belt-fed operation. Krieghoff presented a rising block prototype, which was also quickly dropped. However, it was Rheinmetall, who previously worked on the MG34, proved satisfactory and underwent military trials that were conducted in mid-1942. This early prototype, known under its factory designation of Gerät 450 or Ausführung A, was intended to be a pure sheet metal design, using pressed steel in the construction of the receiver, buttstock, and corrugated handguard. The proposed system of operation was modelled with a gas-operating, turning bolt-action gear to a spiral recoil spring. Though this weapon was never produced beyond its initial concept models, the basic design layout was retained for further development. The prototype was then submitted to a series of endurance tests. The design was revised to the B variation, which replaced the sheet metal handguard with a resin-impregnated fibre type that provided protection against heat and was easier to grip when wet. Further modifications increased the functional reliability and durability were made, which resulted in the final LC-6-3 prototype variant that was ultimately accepted into production as the FG42. 50 rifles were fabricated by Rheinmetall for evaluation purposes that ended in 1942. During these tests, the rifle's shortcomings were further amplified. The weapon experienced serious malfunctions. One rifle suffered a catastrophic failure after firing only 2,100 rounds, a soldier was injured when attempting to fire the rifle grenades, and the pressed metal buttstock would deform after launching a small number of projectiles. Several other improvements were being made before being authorised for large-scale production as the weapon system underwent continuous development. The expedited development, multiple changes to the original design, and basic requirements for the weapon resulted in a myriad of variations. The original Rheinmetall design used a chrome nickel steel, which was essential in many of its components. Unfortunately, this alloy was in critically short supply. When the Luftwaffe was finally given permission to produce 3,000 rifles for combat trials, the material specification was changed to accompany the use of manganese steel as a substitute. The Heinrich Krieghoff Company, despite being unsuccessful with their LC6 design, was contracted to produce the FG42 in limited quantities, as Rheinmetall did not have the capacity to bring the FG42 into serious production. A further redesign was requested to use stamped steel metal in place where supplies of the alloy were diverted to other German products. Further issues arose from field reports that stated that the lightweight rifle was not sturdy enough to handle the full power of the rifle ammunition in cyclic mode. Krieghoff implemented further improvements, such as relocating the bipod from the front of the handguard to the muzzle, enlarging the handguard, and changing the stock from stamped steel to wood to minimize overheating. Additionally, they added weight to the bolt to lengthen its travel time and to reduce the cycle rate of fire, and most known, the revision between the two main types of the design was changing the pistol grip angle to a near vertical configuration. These changes, particularly the pistol grip change and the bipod relocation, are clearly visible on later model FG42s. Further production models also had a simplified flip-out spike bayonet under the barrel, hidden by the bipod, and in later versions the bayonet was further shortened to around 150mm, cut down from that of the original 250mm. The weapon saw its first operational use during the Grand Sasso raid in September of 1943, where German paratroopers and Waffen-SS commandos rescued Italian dictator Benito Mussolini from his captors. However, during this whole airborne operation, which was personally ordered by Hitler, not a single shot was fired at the nearly 200 well-equipped Carabinieri guards, and thus the FG42 was not used in an actual firefight. On the contrary, during the Allied siege of Monte Cassino and the Gustav Line in the first half of 1944, the FG42s that were fielded were very much put to the test in the bloody firefights. There were never enough FG42s to arm most Fallschirmjäger as originally intended, and these weapons were only produced in small numbers of about 7,000 units. However, most were employed in the Western Front following the events of D-Day, with particular use of FG42s during the Battle of Carentan by the infamous FJ6, and the retreat across France and the Falaise Pocket. The French battlefields where the FG42 were used on a wider scale can be seen on several wartime photographs, especially during the Battle of Normandy fought between June and August of 1944. It could be effectively used in the infamous bocage with a mix of thick hedgerows, numerous small fields and narrow roads that caused field-to-field fighting to clear the deadly intricate maze of hedgerows. This made Allied soldiers' life difficult since the terrain provided excellent defensive positions for the determined German forces. The FG42 gave the paratroopers a unique rifle they could both jump with, and once on the ground, the weapon provided them with long-range powerful capabilities. The weapon could be used as a semi-automatic rifle or in the squad support role to lay down automatic fire, as it was equally effective from its near purely ground-based role. Though its magazines carried relatively few rounds, a Jaeger with the correct ammunition pouches could carry 8 standard 20-round magazines, meaning that a fully equipped soldier would potentially be carrying 160 rounds of ammunition on them. Compare that to the Carabiner 98K infantryman, whose maximum approximate count would be 60 rounds at face value comparison on pouch size only, distracting from other variations and variables. Used in Italy, France, Bosnia, and the defence of Berlin during the collapsing state of Germany as the war drew to a close, the rifle seemingly performed well for its purpose, though admittedly several design changes were needed to accommodate for material shortages as they arose and performance issues incurred by the design. Despite this, the rifle was used to significant effect with Fallschirmjägers up until the end of the war in Europe. The FG-42 saw no additional development post-war as no one wanted to continue with the rifle's development. However, some of the parts, systems, and pieces of the rifle went on to influence other guns. After the war, the US investigated the weapon, and it was a major influence in the later M60 general-purpose machine gun, which used design elements from both the FG and MG42. Thank you for watching. I hope you have found this video both helpful and informative as always. If this is your first time here, why not consider subscribing to the channel? These videos take a while to research, vet, edit, and put together, and as such, I post a new video at the end of every month. This video was again, much like the last one, suggested by a comment on an older video, and regrettably, I've been putting off making this video for some time. So if there's any content you would like to see, please drop me a message in the comments section below, or the pinned post on the community section of my channel, and I promise that rather late than never, I will get around to it at some point. I'm thankful for everyone who takes the time to watch, like, and comment on my videos, and I wish everyone a very happy new year in 2026, and once again, thank you.